Oh my God. The Broncos are in the playoffs. The Broncos are in the playoffs. Chiefs accused of cheating by the league. They're fucking out. Raiders, cheaters, they're out. Anybody else that was ahead of us, they're also out for cheating. The Broncos are in the playoffs.
The long streak is over. The drought is over. We did it.
Yeah.
With the losing record.
Maxx Crosby's in jail. Patrick Mahomes is in jail for all their cheating crimes. The Broncos are back, baby.
We made it happen. But on a serious note, we did something better than make the playoffs. And that is to obtain the 12th overall pick in the draft. Like I've always said, it's not about whether you win or you lose. It's actually about getting the best draft position possible.
Yeah. Every team that has selected 12th in the draft has won the Super Bowl the following year. So suck it, Raiders. We just bested you.
Tom Brady, number 12, because he was selected 12th overall famously in the 2012 NFL draft. And what happened there? 7 Super Bowls. 12 Super Bowls.
Yeah. I mean, every time the Patriots picked at 12, they won the Super Bowl.
That's correct. Now we're here to do it ourselves.
Hell yeah. Russell Wilson said he's going to come back and play for $10 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And
while also being much better.
That the Broncos will actually, because of that, they'll have more salary cap than all the other teams in perpetuity.
Yeah, we're actually, we're going to be the first team under 0 at the salary cap.
Yeah.
They're going to force us to sign more free agents.
Actually, every team has to give us one player whenever we want as well.
Yeah, it's like an expansion draft, but every week, and you can't protect anyone.
No. If we say we want Mahomes, we get him, and we don't even want him.
We don't want him. We don't want him.
He's washed.
Yeah. I would rather have Blaine Gabbert.
Didn't even play this week. He's so bad.
And what happened? Blaine Gabbert beat the Chargers, which to me says more about Patrick Mahomes than Easton Stick.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. We suck again. None of that's true, except for the 12th overall pick. I'm Brandon Perna here with Will Keys, and we've made it through another season of Denver Broncos football. This season sucked, and then it got kind of good, and then it sucked again.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen this movie before.
Yeah. It was like we were the ones performing the blowjob. It sucked. And then the person we were giving the blowjob to started to reciprocate the favor, and then they stopped and forced us to keep sucking until they were done. That was our season, Will.
Yeah.
We're the blowjob givers, and we sucked, and then we stopped sucking, and then we sucked more.
Better.
And the Raiders completed right into us, right into our mouths.
Aiden O'Connell did complete some passes right down our throat. I'll say that. Oh man, did that Jaquan McMillan jumping early? That just triggered age-old PTSD from a certain game.
Just a hair. Or what game? What game was it? A playoff game? Will
I won't say it.
I want to see Flacco do that to somebody else in the postseason. So.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to spin this, we can't lose to Joe Flacco again in the playoffs.
That's right. Which we would have.
It would have happened without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
We would have gotten flacked off.
They would have flacked us off. Flacco versus Goff in the Super Bowl. They better pray it won't happen. But it might.
Good. Oh,
flacking off, beating Goff, taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Wow, there's so many options.
People are going to be so sick and tired of hearing our dumb jokes.
No, they won't. They love us.
Yes.
I like how I just talked about us as the Filators, and I get like a little reminder in the YouTube chat Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. And then community guidelines are about, appropriate language and being respectful and all that other stuff. And
when were we not respectful? We said we were the ones receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're okay. Yeah, I mean that's true. We're in a spot again where I think as Broncos fans, we go into this final game, this meaningless game, and Broncos fans are divided. And then they do the most cliche thing you can do on earth, and that's just start fighting with each other. You have no more opponents, and now you argue whether or not it's better or worse to win or lose the game. When it doesn't matter, in my opinion, at this point. And I get why a Bronco fan would want to win, would want to end their losing streak to the Raiders and finish the season with a winning record for the first time since what? The 2016 season?
2016,
technically.
Yeah, they were 9-7.
It was a winning season with Trevor Siemian. Do any of us remember that was a winning season? No.
Not
we
really.
Missed the playoffs, didn't feel like a winning season. So that's why I don't think the winning season really matters. We were out of the playoffs. As soon as you're out of the playoffs, you fucking lost the season. But I get why anybody wants to root for that. And I'm happy for you to root for that. Personally, I wanted the Broncos to not win so we could jump the Raiders from 14 to 12. Is that a big jump in the draft? No. No. And if you're not picking a quarterback, it probably doesn't really matter. And the Raiders could still jump the Broncos for a quarterback if they want one. But the Raiders, in my opinion, 100% would be in the market for a QB. And if we can get ahead of them, if we can have a slight advantage in the draft over the Raiders, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that and be like, that's my silver lining. I don't know if it'll make any difference. I don't know if the Broncos will draft a quarterback. I certainly think they will, but I think they'll have to move up to get the guy that they want. So is 12 versus 14 if you're trading up matter? Probably not. But that's why I was okay with jumping the Raiders, but because at least we're a tiny bit at an advantage in the draft. How are you feeling did you want the win? Did you care? Where were you at emotionally?
I never know. I really never know at this point. I like to, I guess it's like you could call it short-sighted, but yeah, I just want to beat the Raiders. It's the Raiders. Yep. If we were playing the Minnesota Vikings week 18, I wouldn't feel as strongly. But sure. We've had we haven't beaten the Raiders since the last game of the season, 2019. The Drew Lock game.
The Las Vegas Raiders will ever.
We've never beaten the Las Vegas Raiders. I think that means something for morale, and you can't quantify it. So the nerds will say, you're talking out of your ass, and maybe that's true. But the good part is I can just pretend I never felt that way and say, oh, actually it's better because now we have a higher draft pick. And no one could prove me wrong because I didn't tweet anything to the contrary.
Smart. That's very smart, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will not get ratioed.
I don't think I've ever been more indifferent about a result of the game. And while streaming it, when the Broncos are playing well, I'm excited. I was excited to see Jerry Jeudy get in the end zone.
Yeah, of course.
While it's happening, I'm rooting for the Broncos, but not caring if they don't win, which is a weird spot to be in.
I always think about the last game from the 2010 season where it was Tim Tebow was playing the San Diego Chargers, which was a meaningless game for us and for them. And it came down to a last-second Hail Mary. They got batted away in the end zone. And I wanted them to win the game so badly just to beat the Chargers. I hated the Chargers, as we all did at the time.
Right.
But I think if we had won that game, we'd fall out of the top 3 or 5 maybe. But by losing that game, we got the second overall pick, which turned into Von Miller.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be if that pass gets completed and we beat the Chargers, I shudder to think how the next 5 years go without him. We probably don't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think we win Super Bowl 50, where he was literally the most valuable player.
Yeah. So I get it, but also the stakes aren't that high. The stakes from, jumping from like pick 5 to 2 aren't as big as, whatever it would have been, like 7 or 14 to 12 or something. I don't know what it was, but we have the 12th pick now.
Yeah, no, I mean, like in actual, like where they jumped like 2 picks, it's nothing. But the fact that those picks flip flop with the Raiders, I think is somewhat important. But it's the Broncos in the 2016 season. The final game was against the Raiders. That was the Kubiak fuck you game on the way out, and they beat the Raiders in a meaningless game, hurt their draft position, a little bit. They fell to 20th. That's where they selected Garrett Bowles. And that's one of those draft picks that you just had to wait out. Had to hold off judgment because
turned out okay at the end.
Turned out okay.
But then you can like talk yourself into being like, okay, well, if they lose that game, maybe Elway was looking at Mahomes, and maybe they're in striking range for Mahomes. But you can play that game all day.
Yeah.
At the end, we'll just make that call after the draft or 5 years after the draft when we know how those players turned out. But yeah, it's such a coin flip anyway. I refuse to get riled up about it.
No, there's no reason to get riled up. I think it's just like whatever your rooting interest is as a fan, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't like no one's a fake fan for like trying to think long term versus like I want to win this game. I get it. You're both fans. Let's not have a dick measuring contest.
Let's
lose to the guy at Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah. Can we leave football out of it and just measure our dicks?
Yeah, that's the real Super Bowl.
Oh, the Bass Pro Shop guy. Oh boy.
Yeah, that was great.
It's funny because I was just like a few nights ago or whatever. We took Carm to Cabela's. There's a restaurant we like to go to, and it's kind of close to it. And Bass Pro Shop, this is the same thing, I think, right?
I think I've been to the Bass Pro Shops in Colorado Springs. I don't think I've ever been to a Cabela's.
Yeah. I think they might even be owned. They're owned together now. I don't know. But same thing. They got the big fish tank. They got all the stuff.
Yeah. It does call out to you, doesn't it?
What's that?
The aquarium. It does it beckons you. I get I get why he did it.
He jumped in there. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have to take your clothes off.
Yeah.
But like especially with what he's working with.
I wouldn't.
No.
But like she likes to go there because you can walk around forever, and she likes to play on the 4-wheelers. It's just a time killer. And it's not like Jess and I probably never had gone there together. And then we've been there like twice in the last like month and a half or 2 months. And then I saw that. I was like, what if I was there with my kid and that dude was jumping in there naked? I'm like, holy shit.
Well, there's nothing to see really, so I don't think it would have mattered.
It would have been, she would have been interested, but not traumatized.
Yeah. Who needs to tank when you can be mid for life? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Feel that way, yeah, sure. I don't know.
Hell yeah. All right. So Stidham finished this game. He finished it.
He finished. The Raiders finished on us. We finished a game at quarterback. I don't know. What'd you think? He's fine, right?
He was fine. I think like you're splitting hairs. There's a few things he still does better than Russ. And there was one sack for sure I thought Russ would have gotten out of that Stidham didn't. But like when I was streaming, everybody was like, the problem is the Broncos offensive line. Oh God, oh, there you are.
You're back. Yeah.
Okay. They're like, the Broncos O-line sucks. That's the real problem. And I'm like, the line has been better this year. I defended it. And of course, Stidham got sacked 5 times in this game. So now people are like, see, he gets sacked just as much as Russ. It's not a Russ problem.
It's the first time we played with a different offensive lineman, too.
Yeah. We had to fill in. We had Cam Fleming filling in for McGlinchey at right tackle, whose responsibility was Maxx fucking Crosby, who's one of the best edge rushers in the season, is having one of the best seasons of any of the top edge rushers. So to me, that was more of a problem than the Broncos line. One of the things I feel good about moving forward is the Broncos offensive line. So what they do next, like, I don't know. Do you think there's any chance Russ comes back at all?
No, I don't. I will say this in defense of Stidham though too. Like, I think he ran the ball 20 times for 48 yards.
Yeah,
like that's a big concern. I just don't think, at least this season, like Javonte has no juice.
Yeah,
it's just not there. I don't think he's getting he's probably not getting a ton of good lanes to run through, but it's not working for anybody. And if the plan all along with Sean Payton was to, dominate up front and run the ball, like you're not left with very much if if you're going to run the ball for 2.5 yards per carry over the course of a month.
Yeah, that's been what's really killed their chances to win some of these games that they needed to win. Is the run game got significantly worse.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, you could probably put that on the O-line. Some of it.
You might.
It's like this offensive line is a lot better in pass protection. They have been better at that, but probably not better in run blocking, which is weird because when we talk about Quinn Miners, who's arguably their best offensive lineman, he just bulldozes people.
Yeah, and you can't say okay, well, we haven't invested enough in the O-line. It's like, no, we developed Cushenberry from a bottom tier center his rookie year to a guy that's going to earn a lot of money this year.
Yeah.
You spent big on Powers and McGlinchey. Miners you developed kind of on a faster track. And then, we talked about Garrett Bowles already.
Yeah, he's been good.
He's one of the better left tackles in the league. But it's still it feels like the pieces are greater than the sum of their parts, especially running the ball.
Yeah.
So you wonder, okay, maybe you need to just figure out a way to get a better running back, which fortunately is easier than fixing an offensive line too.
You can find running backs, you can find receivers. I think those are easier to find. I think we're starting to see we got to see a little more out of Marvin Mims. Not much. Yeah. I think he had maybe one or two nice plays in the past game. Brandon Johnson had a few nice plays. And yes, Mike McGlinchey is a lot better than Cam Fleming. Mike McGlinchey perfect? No, but he's a lot better than Cam Fleming was against Maxx Crosby.
We love to complain about guys until we see them out of the game and we see what their replacement can do.
Thank you, Will. I literally saw Cam Fleming not able to turn quick enough.
Yeah, Maxx
Crosby.
Maxx Crosby gets off the ball it reminded me of Von Miller.
Yeah.
Where he'd get off the ball so quickly it looked like he was offsides. But he jumped the snap quicker than the offensive lineman who knew the snap count. It's a special player. The announcers didn't they didn't shy away from that fact. I think I heard his name mentioned roughly 247 times.
Maxx
over
Crosby.
The course of 3 hours. Yeah. We got a Fox broadcast crew that I was not previously aware existed.
They might not have. It might have been
it might have been their first game. Yeah, it was Jason Benetti and Matt Millen. Jason Benetti, I only know from ESPN2 college basketball games that start at 9 p.m. Eastern.
The fact that you even recognize him from that is impressive.
He's got one of those faces you'd recognize, but yeah.
Oh, okay. And Matt Millen, former Lions GM?
Former Lions GM. Raider, 49er, Super Bowl champion. But yeah, he's still going strong. Very complimentary of Quinn Miners. Matt Millen was.
Sweet.
But it just feels bad to get first of all, a Broncos Raiders game should be on CBS. It should not be on Fox.
Yeah, that confused me.
I was
weird. Where the fuck is this game?
Right. And then you're like, what? We've gone a long way from Nance, Sims, and the golden days.
We really have.
That's what happens.
I thought another thing that kind of stood out was Fabian Moreau. I feel like I see a lot of charts where it says that he's good in coverage, and maybe he is most of the time. But if a guy's getting beat this season, I feel like it's been Moreau's guy in coverage who's been getting, wide open. Not like he's kind of there and the guy makes a play. I'm talking about,
no, he gets
okay,
wide.
who was responsible? Oh, shit, it was Fabian Moreau. So, Pat Surtain, solid. We've seen a lot out of Jaquan McMillan, missed times that jump. Probably best as like your nickel or your slot corner. So I think corner will be another need.
Yeah.
And if the Broncos are not taking a quarterback at 12, maybe they're taking a corner. And maybe I'm like 4 years later going, oh, shit, should we have taken Bo Nix instead of the best corner? Like I was with Justin Fields and Surtain? Don't know. But that scenario could happen. But everything just comes down to what the fuck they do at quarterback. I really don't care. I don't even care if the team is like great next year. I just want to know that we have the dude at QB.
Right. We don't need like we don't need a Houston Texans kind of turnaround. Well, it would be nice. I wouldn't say no, of course, but you want to know that is like your guy moving forward for a few years at least. I almost threw my phone through a wall today. This is Ben Albright tweeting that like one of the likely scenarios is Jimmy Garoppolo and Michael Pratt, who's a quarterback from Tulane. It's like, first of all, like luckily I doubt that happens, but if it ever did, I would move off the grid and just start over.
Yeah. I do not want to hear the word bridge quarterback. I swear to Christ. I would rather them draft 3 fucking quarterbacks, 3 rookies, and have a QB room of only rookies. I don't want a veteran leader in there. I don't want any bullshit.
You already have a bridge quarterback on the roster. His name
is Jarrett Stidham. Yeah. Somebody tried to put Ryan Tannehill. They're like, what about Ryan Tannehill?
What the fuck is the point of that?
I don't want Tannehill. I don't want Jacoby Brissett. I don't want Jimmy Garoppolo. The only free agent possibility I would consider, besides Minshew, and that is just for sexual reasons, is Kirk Cousins. He's the only one I'd be like, that's an upgrade. And I know if they spend some money on Kirk Cousins, they can't afford it. I know if they signed Kirk Cousins, all the shit people used to complain about Kirk Cousins for would be back. And he would not be as good as he has been the last couple of years in Minnesota. He would be worse. It's the property that just happens. So just draft. Just keep drafting. I don't care if you miss on another fucking Paxton Lynch. I don't care if you miss on another Drew Lock. Just keep doing that until you actually get one. Because you might luck into it. Just like the Texans.
When was the last time they took a quarterback top 15? It was they traded up for Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
In 2006. Right?
Yeah.
So that was a good pick.
And that's the best quarterback they've ever drafted.
Yeah. The quarterbacks that you pick don't work out because you keep drafting them at the top of the first round or the second round.
Yes.
Osweiler, second rounder. Locke, second rounder. Paxton Lynch, back in the first round. You trade back into the first to get him.
Yeah. Or you do.
No wonder they don't work out. It's not that we can't develop quarterbacks. It's that we don't even try.
Yeah. Or you got a guy that you might have been able to develop a little bit, but your head coach was Vic Fangio, and he didn't give a shit about developing him, and they fired the coach that was making him work.
Yeah. Well,
what's really funny about that season in retrospect, too, with Joe Flacco and Drew Lock, is Joe Flacco was not good with Rich Scangarello's offense.
No.
Drew Lock was.
Mm-hmm.
They fired Scangarello. They got rid of Flacco anyway. Flacco's been pretty damn good with Stefanski and the Browns offense in Cleveland. Like, sometimes shit just doesn't even make sense in the NFL anymore. Like,
no.
I've never been more certain that Joe Flacco was going to be bad this season. I was like, I'm certain about that.
Yeah, until we saw him play with the Jets. Like he had some flashes last year. He had I think he had a great comeback win against, I think it was Cleveland, actually.
Yeah.
But that was all he showed. Like, he just looked tremendously washed up. But maybe, I don't know, maybe just like taking a little bit of time off at that age is.
Yeah, might have helped. Half a season, fresh.
Yeah.
You've got nothing to lose helps a little bit for Flacco. Used to be he was playing for money, but like
he's got that.
Yeah. And see, the thing I actually feel good about, like I'm not, I don't think I'm just like tricking myself. I really believe that, a rookie quarterback will work with Sean Payton. I think that. I think it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of similar to us as an organization and Sean Payton. People are like, well, Sean Payton, he's never won without Drew Brees. He's never drafted a good quarterback. It's like, well, he never, was in a position to.
Yeah.
It's not a knock to say like, well, he never won without Drew Brees. Like, well, Drew Brees is this quarterback for all but 1 year. And he got he had a decent season with Trevor Siemian and Jameis and even before that with Teddy Bridgewater.
Where Teddy plays best.
Yeah, New Orleans.
Yeah.
So let's.
He was cooking in Minnesota before he got hurt, but
he was. Yeah, no, he was. Absolutely, no, totally. And I would just like to see him take a swing, like take a big swing.
I think they're going to.
Don't
try. You've got to have.
Nothing against Michael Pratt. It's just not big enough of a swing for me.
Take
him later. Just draft 2 guys.
Take Bo Nix this year. Take Shedeur Sanders next year. Take all of them. Just keep going until you got that guy.
Yeah.
You can move on. You can move on from those quarterbacks so easily. So easily. Doesn't matter.
That's
$10 million in cap, dead cap. Oh, we're gonna pay Russ $80 million to not play for us for 2 years.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
So I don't care.
None of this matters until you find a good quarterback. Like,
no,
you can't have sustained success without it, unless the Steelers might be an anomaly in that regard, but
they could be. Yeah,
like that. Yeah, you either find Mike Tomlin or find a great quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. And Steelers fans were ready to move on from Tomlin a month ago.
Yeah. Oh, they don't get how good they have it. I understand the frustration, but like, no, to have a chance every year, that's a luxury. It's like, did you see the Patriots fan who was wearing the jersey, the number 0, and the name was Sadness? So you're a Patriots fan. Were you born in 2019?
If so, then fair enough.
Yeah, if so, maybe. But
yeah,
how short our memories are.
Yeah, we're football fans are. I mean, it's just because people are passionate, right?
Yeah.
Patriots fans, they got to be quiet. I think most Patriots fans know they got to be quiet for another 5 years at least. It's got to be a decade.
I agree.
Gotta be a decade.
Then we'll talk.
Got to be a decade. I'd like with every issue the Broncos have, and there's a handful of issues we can talk about. We're not going to tonight, and I don't know if we ever will, because it doesn't matter if you don't have your quarterback. Just doesn't. None of those. I don't like. Oh, run defense could get better. Don't give a shit. We got the guy. Nope. Don't care.
That's
corner's not very good outside of Pat Surtain. Don't give a shit. Tight end, don't really have one. Don't care. Just give me a quarterback. We'll figure it out from there. I do think we've got the coach.
Guess what? You get a good quarterback, he's going to make a tight end look good.
Yeah.
You get a good quarterback, like teams are going to have to be playing from behind, so run defense matters less.
Yeah. One thing that
quarterback covers up a lot of holes.
Yes, so much so. Look at the Packers right now.
Yeah.
Jordan Love looks good. He looks really, really good.
And who was the first person to call Jordan Love good?
Who was the first person? Oh, we were?
This last week.
Yeah, we made a video this last week because we were on it first. Nailed it.
God, Johnny was just, he couldn't have been more excited to do that.
No. He was so
Shout out
happy.
Johnny Barks, who edited that video. He did a great job.
Yep.
As always.
He marathoned to get it done. Now the Packers are in the playoffs. But I was looking at this in the stream too. This week, Broncos 8-8, Packers 8-8. What was the other thing that was in there? Holy fuck. There's another similar thing, but like the same exact record. And Denver beat Green Bay this year.
Mm-hmm.
But the circumstances for Green Bay are so much more optimistic.
It's
one,
incredible.
because they're still alive for the playoffs, but two, they feel like they got their quarterback and they did it perfectly. And that's how, your margin for error in the NFL is so fucking small. The difference between being like good and fun and just like miserable, that's the same. Both those teams heading into this week won 8 games each.
Yeah, no, it is incredible how much different two identical records can feel, because like it's not just the quarterback, although the quarterback is the biggest part of it. Like there's nothing better than feeling like you found your quarterback.
Yeah.
I would love to know how that feels one day.
Yeah.
But like they're just young, like across the board, especially on offense. I mean, we got into it in that video, but like Jaden Reed looks like a star. You got Watson and Romeo Doubs who look, just if not reliable, really good. They're just like guys coming out of the woodworks. Tons of rookies. The future is very bright, and meanwhile we look pretty aimless.
Yeah, like all of like the practical things, like all of the things that like outside people were like, "You sure you think that's a good idea with Russell Wilson?" The draft capital, the contract, when it happened, I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm fine with it." I was like, "Give him a 10-year contract." I mean, I didn't mean that literally, but like,
it's a good thing we did.
But I was that certain, like he was going to be not the best quarterback in the NFL, but I'm like, he's going to be top 10 QB for us every year until he physically declines. And you have not seen that man physically decline. And of course, the first thing, he was a little overweight and looked like he physically declined. But like I don't know anymore. That's what I'm saying. Like
even like that, like I even knowing how much, what a war crime that trade ended up being. I get it. You know what? I get it. They swung for the fences, and guess what? Even trading for a Hall of Fame quarterback isn't a guarantee.
Yeah, it's not. And I think I learned the Russell Wilson trade has made me even more impressed with how good Peyton Manning was. And I didn't think I could feel that way. You know what I mean? Like what he did,
because he did decline too, like at the same time, and it's still like didn't matter.
So it's like this is actually true. That's true. I agree with this. You just can't. You can't take a chance on any quarterback ever, actually.
Wildcat offense.
Yeah. Hey, their Wildcat play worked.
1 for 1. Let's see how that works on a bigger scale.
Oh, Gabe Davis, you fell down. Oh, boy.
I don't even have the game on.
Ugh. A couple picks in the red zone for the Bills. So, hey, Underdog sponsoring today's show. Use our code Let's Ride. Broncos fans, you may not have anything to watch for in the postseason, but you can have fun playing Underdog. I did a pick'em today, and I lost in the first game because I went higher on Chris Godwin's fantasy points. Only had 9. I was like, oh, Buccaneers, must-win game. Godwin's been playing well against the Panthers. That seems like a safe one. Was not. So I'm as good at pick'ems as I am evaluating quarterbacks and what's right for my team moving forward. But I recommend you play. Use our code, link in the description to sign up. Code Let's Ride. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. And Will's sister recently did a little Underdog. Did she do it because she knew Underdog sponsored the show, or she just do it out of her own volition?
She had no idea. She and her boyfriend did it.
Nice.
I suspect it was his influence.
Nice. So even Will's sister uses Underdog. And I don't know if I could give a better endorsement for Underdog Fantasy.
Yeah, right. No, I was shocked. I said, next time you come through us, you use that promo code or else.
Honestly, any sponsor I do, I'm like, does Will's sister use it? And if the answer is no, I don't do the deal.
Yeah. And that's how it will be from now on.
This was huge. You know what? This is how finicky I am. Okay. Before all the games started today, I'd be like, fuck yeah, bring him. Can't close it out. Can't beat the Packers. And I know the Bears really wanted to beat the Packers.
Yeah. They're
I'm off Justin Fields again. Also, I don't think Justin Fields is what Sean Payton is looking for.
No, absolutely not. He is, I'm not saying he's Russell Wilson because he can see over the offensive line, but his playing style is, kind of like what we just had. Yeah. And that's not what they're looking for, clearly. Yeah.
No, and this is what I thought, what I liked about Jarrett Stidham. The Marvin Mims play on 3rd and 16, first down.
Yeah.
And the Jerry Jeudy play turned into a touchdown. Now, 90% of what happened on those plays was Marvin Mims after the catch and Jerry Jeudy after the catch. Jerry Jeudy was tremendous after the catch.
Mm-hmm.
Those are wide receivers making plays. Why did they make those plays? Because Stidham threw the ball on time on crossing routes to both of those guys.
Over the middle of the field.
Two different ways. I'm not saying Russ can't make those throws, but I'm saying Stidham made the easy, correct throw and did it on time and put his receiver in a position there to make those bigger plays. Now, Stidham misses 2 games in a row, balls off target too much. That's an issue.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's what I think we want to see. That's what Sean Payton's looking for, is a guy who can do those sorts of things and really open up his offense. But those are just
Isn't it kind of hilarious that when games start not mattering, Jerry Jeudy turns into Jerry Rice every year?
He's like the reverse Tebow. It's like if the Broncos were bounced from the playoffs in September, he would break every receiving record.
Yeah, he'd go for 2,000 yards.
Yeah, he'd have 2,500 yards and 50 receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, it's like last year, incredible, meaningless week 18.
Yeah,
it shows Kentucky fans. What the fuck? What are you talking about?
See, now I'm not combustion. If cum is in your username, I know where we're at. And I don't want to dog you, but just in general, the Raiders fans, you guys, you beat us in a meaningless game where winning didn't help you at all. I'm going to give that one to you. You want to dunk on us for that? Here's you just dunk. Just keep fucking dunking. You can dunk all you want on it, but you didn't accomplish shit. Neither did the Chargers this year.
We're all watching the playoffs in the same place. We can all get together and watch.
We're in the same hell. You don't have a quarterback either. You don't even know who your coach is going to be. You're still scared. You're terrified your owner's going to fuck that one up again. And during the stream, I was like, you know what? I think Mark Davis learned. And then I go, but maybe he didn't. That's what Raiders fans are. And Chargers. I'm going to give you this one, Chargers. Every year we say, Will and I are pretty hip to the overhype on the Chargers. We're like, let's be careful here because of the Chargers. And then once they fail, then everybody likes to pretend like they thought the Chargers would suck all along. And we all know they win every offseason. But right now, guess who else wins every offseason? The Broncos. And we get the same results as the Chargers at this point. So I'm going to ease up on the Chargers for that, knowing We're all in the quagmire of shit.
I agree.
Can the quagmire also be shit? Does that work?
Yeah, I think a quagmire is like a body of fluid, right?
Yeah, it's a shit quagmire.
They named it after the Family Guy character.
That's right.
The Predator from Family Guy.
Yeah. Shout out, Bill.
What's up, Bill?
Yeah. At least this season got competitive for a while. We saw something. That's more than we
had fun. We had fun, at least.
We did. We did have a ride that was enjoyable for a bit there. So
we didn't have fun.
I think that's what makes me really angry is the team was good enough to like claw back into relevancy. Like from being 1-5,
yeah,
and then have a chance at the playoffs, and then just lose some winnable games in horrific fashion. It's those last games, and it's where Russ didn't elevate, didn't get better than just being good enough. That's what's frustrating. That's why you're like, if they move on from Russ, I don't care. That's fine. Versus like, oh no, we're doing Russ dirty. No, we're not. He should have been fucking better. We should have written a smarter contract. Sean Payton maybe could have worked with Russ a little bit more amicably. But
anyone who feels like, I don't feel any animosity towards him, but anyone who feels bad for Russell Wilson, like figure your priorities out. He made so much money to not be very good at football.
Yeah.
Like, he fleeced us.
He made a lot of money to be very good at football for like 5 plays in every game.
Yeah.
And the rest, he was Jarrett Stidham. He was Jarrett Stidham for 90% of the game, but he's got a different gear than we've seen Jarrett Stidham hit. But he can't be in that gear too long. He can't
just can't do 3 drives in a row.
No.
Can't.
Came back to 3 drives. He just needed 3 drives.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
What are you going to do? We get to watch our potential future first-round pick, Michael Penix Jr., versus our other potential first-round pick, J.J. McCarthy, in the national championship game tomorrow. I will be rooting for both teams. I'll be rooting for both quarterbacks to win MVP.
Nice.
And at the end, the team that comes out on top will be our quarterback.
Boom. I'll take it. I'll take Penix.
Yeah, he's better.
I'll take Penix. Yeah, JJ McCarthy terrifies me.
Yeah, I don't know. We're like, we have no idea what we're talking about, but we can only just kind of go on.
No, I've seen a few box scores. I know enough.
No, I know. Like, no one knows what they're talking about, though. Like, even people who watch every snap.
Yeah, I mean, the last year's draft is just such a good example of that.
Yeah.
I mean, if CJ Stroud went to Carolina, though, he'd be fucking. He wouldn't be that good.
Yeah, it would
be like good. We would be. You know what? This is what we'd say. We'd say we saw some flashes from CJ Stroud in Carolina, but the team was bad. Everything was bad. They were not good. There's probably some question marks about his game. Right now with the Texans, he looks perfect. He looks like as good of a quarterback as you could see coming out of college. And Bryce Young, who is not as good as CJ Stroud, looks like the worst draft pick you could have made at pick 1. And I'm not saying that's true 100% about Bryce. I'm not saying he can't get better. I'm just saying everybody and their fucking mother, except maybe 3 dudes, thought Bryce Young was better than CJ Stroud. And he's not. So yeah, we can guess, and we're gonna guess.
We're gonna do a lot of guessing.
Guess
we'll be wrong
all the way till April, and then we'll know. We can narrow our guessing down to one guy. It won't be this guy versus this guy. It'll be this guy's our guy, and this why he's gonna be good. And then the season's gonna start, and everything we were optimistic about is probably gonna die. Oh yeah, don't worry.
Hold on. Make your mother happy. Just do it for your mom.
Just wait until it's really rainy and windy outside and muddy and then wear it and wear it out and wear shoes that don't have good traction.
Yeah, I agree.
Achan just scored. Dolphins might win. Didn't think they were going to win. Didn't think they had a chance. Then the Steelers really took the pressure off the Bills. So we'll see what happens with that game. All right, we're going to get out of here. It was a weird long season. We'll be back potting once a week. Well, maybe twice a week still for the playoffs. Covering everything Broncos related, mostly, somewhat, kind of. That's our promise to you. Half-assed Broncos beverage every time.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yes. How many years have we done this pod now?
Ah, shit.
Did we start doing it the first year you started writing with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's been we've been together. It'll be 6 years, I think, in April.
Damn.
Yeah.
We are the Russell Wilson of podcasting. Broncos Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
We never get better.
Right.
We don't get better. Every now and then, there's some fire in here. Most of the time, it's like, yeah, they're just good.
You can't string together 3 good podcasts in a row, though.
No, God, no. 2. We've done 2 good podcasts. Yep. Never 3.
Can't hit
never fucking 3.
Won't happen.
Yeah. That's not even a joke. That's probably the most accurate take we've ever had.
Yeah. There's not many.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you rocking with us. We'll see what happens this week. Luckily, we won't be firing a coach tomorrow. Or will we? No, we won't. That would be fucking nuts, though.
Burn it down.
Good night.
And John Elway plays entire career without an ACL.
And good luck.